Hello, everybody. Good morning if you're on the West Coast, but if you're on the best coast, it's good afternoon. If you didn't already know, this is Paper Route. I am Ashley Nicole Moss, and we got a full house today. I know for the past week, we've been holding it down without Brandon Marshall. He was feeling a little bit under the weather. But surprise, surprise, look who's back in the studio with us, everybody.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Brandon?
Oh, I'm feeling better, but if I start breaking out in sweats, it's just because I'm still kind of going through it a little bit. But it's not contagious.
Okay.
It's not contagious.
We can't both be down, Brandon. That's not how that works.
I know we can't both be down. I came in last Monday, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm just like dealing with a headache. And then by the end of the show, I was like, you know what? It might be food poisoning.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then about an hour, 2 hours later, after a post-production meeting, I was upstairs in my office, balled up into a ball like a baby and sweating bullets, man. And it's been crazy ever since. But I feel better.
That's good.
I was in a hospital for 6 days.
We've had some bouts with the hospital in this group.
Yeah.
First it was me.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. First it was Corey.
I started it off.
Then it was me.
Then
it was Brandon. I don't know who's
don't
next.
bring none of that
I'm
on
not
this
gonna
side.
put
Me and
that
BC
juju
good.
on you.
You know, I'll say this.
I'll
say this, Ashley. I appreciate you guys holding it down. I will say this. I feel like it was the detox my body needed, though.
That's how I felt like when I got the flu.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I had the flu for 10 days.
My taste buds has changed, and there's a lot has changed. Like, it was actually like spiritual, but we're not gonna go there.
Okay.
I'm glad to be back.
Okay. Well, listen, we also, outside of Brandon rejoining us in the studio, we have a full house as normal. We got Corey in the cut. We got Woo in the West. And we got BC in the back and Manderville somewhere watching. You'll never see him. And then shout out to our social team holding it down all across the country. Austin, Texas, LA. We're everywhere. And speaking of everywhere, there's news everywhere across different stratospheres, different locations. So let's break it all down and see what's going on, Corey.
For sure. We got a great show today. We're going to talk about D-Hop. He found his new home. We'll get into that a little bit later. And Steph Curry, he stole the show at the American Century Championship. So, we'll get into that. May he have a second career after basketball. But first, we got to start with the news of the day. An important guy got introduced here in Miami yesterday.
Did.
I'll say, Ashley, did you wanna lead this one off?
I was actually very disappointed. I could not make it. The weather was atrocious.
It was.
And I thought it was going to get rained out, the lightning delay and all that. But Messi's in Miami
so if
finally.
the weather was good, you would have went?
Heck yeah, I had tickets to go.
Really?
But I wasn't going to sit in the rain. I love Messi, but not that much. It was lightning, it was torrential downpour, all that stuff. But Messi is officially in the 305, everybody. I am so excited for this. As you guys know, I'm a huge Messi fan. He is my GOAT. And I actually had the opportunity to do a sit down for one of the soccer reporters for ESPN. He interviewed a bunch of people from the soccer community and people who live in Miami. And we had an opportunity to tell him how exciting this is. I mean, I don't think if you're not a soccer fan, you may not understand the magnitude of this, but just to simplify it, outside of David Beckham when he came to the LA Galaxy, and that wasn't even like that. It was huge, but David Beckham was on the tail end of his career, so it wasn't really the same. This is huge. This is one of the biggest athletes, if not the biggest athlete in the world, coming to play in America. I mean, soccer is huge across the globe. Yeah. And the MLS is still trying to obviously build itself up. We're still trying to get there, but to have someone of this stature, I mean, this man can't even go to the supermarket.
Yeah, you saw that in the Publix this week.
No,
he can go to the supermarket better here than he can
but there was
there.
a video of him getting malls in Publix, and he asked his wife for the car key so he can just get out of the store. I mean, really? I don't think people understand the magnitude of Messi and just the stardom that he is. But outside of that, we've never had a player of this magnitude play in America. I mean, this is going to change soccer for America forever. I mean, it's a big deal.
Well, I do agree with you on that it'll change the landscape in America for a very long time. But Ashley, sorry to continue to rain on your parade here, but Messi is in the same position that Beckham was when he joined the LA Galaxy. They're old. They're done. Yes, I know he just won the World Cup.
I was thinking.
Yes, I do. Yes, I know he was the MVP of the cup and all of that other stuff. If I'm using the right terms, the soccer terms. But Messi is old. He's done.
Relax.
He is.
Relax.
I'm excited about it. It doesn't change my excitement, but he's done.
Relax. We're not doing that.
This is his farewell tour.
I think it's drastically different. David Beckham and where David Beckham, star power wise, David Beckham was huge. But in terms of his craft, he wasn't where Messi is right now.
Really?
No, like in terms of where first of all, his craft is in terms of like
they're not the same.
But even where he was like in his career, Messi is very much still in his prime. Like Beckham, when he when Beckham came to the LA Galaxy, he wasn't what he was in England.
I do want to say this before when news broke, Messi coming here, we debated GOATs, and I threw out Pele, and y'all laughed at me. It was like it's clearly Messi. When I was over in France and then in Africa, I was with some soccer players, and Jenny, one of them, great soccer player who actually played. He's still at PSG, played with Messi, and he said, "Bro, like this dude is the GOAT. There's no debate." And he's next level. And he said he is telling me a story about like walking in the locker room one day, and he'll just be sitting down looking at his foot and just doing this little thing, and it's like twitching, and nobody knows what he's doing, and they don't even know if he knows what he's doing. He's like, he's not all the way there. And so it's going to be interesting to see Messi take the field here in South Florida, and then also in the U.S. Everywhere he goes is going to be sold out. It is exciting time. They talked about David Beckham last night being emotional. I don't know if you watched it. I didn't watch it. But
David Beckham, David Beckham is one of the big reasons that he's here in Miami.
Did he cry?
He was emotional. I mean, you have to also think about it. Beckham has been trying to make Inter Miami happen for a very long time. Like he, if you guys remember, he was supposed to build that stadium by the marina, and those plans, went through. He finally got the permit for it, but like it's been a long time coming for David Beckham for this to develop and become what it is on the verge of becoming. So he's probably just emotional for a bunch of things. And again, it's messy in America.
It's messy.
Messy. No, you don't have to watch him overseas. You don't have to hop a plane, go to Europe or South. Like, he's in America.
Right.
Like, that is huge.
Yeah. Right.
Who would you say is like the equivalent to Messi in another sport? Like a GOAT?
LeBron, maybe. And that's not even, it's hard to even.
I would say Jordan was like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was the comparison.
Because Jordan, when he went to different countries, it was like, remember when he was in Paris, I believe it was, for the Olympic team? He was mauled. Kobe was like that as well. Maybe you can say LeBron too. I think it's a different level though than it was like with Jordan.
Muhammad Ali.
Yes,
Yeah, he was
like I'm thinking because when you said Michael Jordan, the way you start describing him,
excuse me,
I was like, it's hard to throw LeBron in there. LeBron is LeBron, but Messi. I mean, I can't put Tom Brady in there, but Tom Brady from an athlete standpoint is there. It's like there's the Messis of the world, the Tom Brady's of the world, the MJs of the world. I would throw Serena Williams in there, but then there's some athletes that ascend that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where the Muhammad Ali's come in at, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I ain't no et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, the only other soccer star that I can think of that has that same level of like just mayhem around him is Ronaldo.
Right.
Yeah. Right,
like it's really Messi and Ronaldo are like in a league of their own. I mean, Neymar has a huge following, but I think when you do tiers, Messi and Ronaldo at the top of the pyramid, and then everybody else kind of falls where they fall after them. Right. So.
Well, actually, moving on, you had sent me a little piece of news. I actually wanted you to introduce this one too. Should have a nice discussion. But ABC, they had announced
made an announcement. Their new Bachelor, and this is really interesting.
Corey, is it Corey? Let me guess, Corey Holmes.
No, this is actually really cool. It's this guy.
What?
No, so check this out. ABC has announced that they're doing a new spinoff of the Bachelor series. Now, I've never watched The Bachelor, but I have friends who are like adamant Bachelor watchers, so I know things against my will. The Golden Bachelor, and it's for men over the age of 50 who are looking to find love. This guy here is 71 years old.
I was going to ask him to
Doesn't he look, I mean, obviously not. First, he looks good. He doesn't look 71 at all to me.
At all.
He does not look 71.
No,
he looks like maybe he's in his 60s. He looks fantastic. He looks like he takes care of himself. He works out.
He also looks Photoshopped though.
No, but there was a video of him. He looks the same.
Really?
Yeah, there's a video of him.
You know what they're doing now? A lot of these these older cats is taking a lot of drugs. That's crazy. For real, I'm being honest. Like, look at what's his name? Jeff Bezos. Come on. You think Jeff Bezos, his six-pack, his biceps look like that?
You think that's all natural?
You know what I'm saying?
You think Mark Zuckerberg is natural?
Just off
we saw him last week?
But this is a real thing, and I actually think if you have the money to invest in it, you should. As far as like,
I find this interesting because, like, if you watch The Bachelor, they, like, you know, the women on there are competing for the attention and the love of this one man. And it's usually young women. And, you know, they're, like, making out in the hot tub and all this, like, stuff.
Right.
So I wonder if it's going to be, like, the same flow for this, or because he's an older gentleman, does he want more of a civilized experience? Like, as a man, don't you, like, outgrow, like, are you gonna have a bunch of 20-year-olds in the house fighting for you? I don't know if that's like his cup of tea. I'm curious.
That was another question I had. Like, what age group are these women gonna be in?
That's my question. Are you gonna do like an age group that's like relative to you?
Also, they should have like a minimum, maybe like 35.
What they call it? What do they call this something, man? What do they call it? This whole viral thing. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The something Lyles guy that passed away.
Oh, Kevin Lyles?
I know what you're talking about.
The pastor?
Or, no.
That's what he says.
Samson?
What kind of
Kevin Samuels?
Kevin Samuels.
Okay.
They call it some type of man. Maybe in the chat they know.
Well, I personally don't want to see a bunch of 50-year-old women like fighting for the attention of a man.
High value.
He's a high value man. So what he's going to be he's probably looking for 71. Let me tell you something. I've been around some 70-year-old dudes that's still getting after it. Yeah, he's definitely looking. Look, so on the show, to keep it tasteful, they'd probably be 50.
That's what I'm thinking. 50.
Maybe, probably 45 to 55.
Yeah.
But in real life, Buddy messing with 25-years and 30-years for sure.
I believe it.
For sure. For sure. 100%.
I hope not, because once upon a time, I won't say the show, but once upon a time when I was at Sports Illustrated, I was approached to be a contestant on a dating show. And
why can't you say the show?
Because I just can't. I don't remember what the paperwork and stuff was. I'm not trying to get sued. But long story short, when I was at Sports Illustrated, I was approached to be on a dating show. And you have to go through a very lengthy, like once they're like set on we want you on the show, there's a lengthy process. You have to do a questionnaire, and like they want to know what you like, what you don't like. You have to go ahead and get a full panel like STD test to make sure, because they be doing things on those shows. Like it's not just for TV, it's real. So and that's what scared me away from the whole process. I was like, I don't know this man. I'm not sleeping with him on TV. Like, what the hell? But I don't want to see a bunch of like women who have been through experiences in their lives, you know, probably have been married before, probably have children. Yeah. Some may have grandchildren. I don't want to see catfights over a man. Like, I want this to be a little bit of a classier dating experience. And maybe that's not like something that's like interesting to watch. But, I don't want to see that. Like, because I personally was going to be on a show where the girls were in my age group between 20 and 30. And I didn't want to fight over a guy on national television. Would you do a reality
TV show now?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Brandon Marshall here, Ashley Nicole Moss, Corey in the cut, Woo Out West, BC in the back. We're on Sirius XM for all of our listeners, Channel 103, Faction Talk. I'm glad to be back. Do we have any more news, or can I jump into my...
We do. I got a couple more for you guys. Okay. LeBron James, he's changing his jersey number back to 23, and he says he's doing it in honor of Bill Russell. Bill Russell obviously was number 6. He wore number 6 for the past few years in L.A., and he's going back to 23. I think he's wearing 23 the year that they won the championship. So, you know, I guess it's right. You guys like this move, and do you respect the movement to do it out of honor of Bill Russell?
So first you got to give a little background.
Wasn't it the league retired that number?
That was last year. So what happened last year, obviously we lost a legend.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this ever happened before. Maybe it has. But the league-wide retired number 6. Mm. And so if you had the number your grandfathered in a way. And so a lot of guys opted to give it up. LeBron kept it because it was too close to the season. They couldn't scramble to get enough jerseys for sale for people who wanted a LeBron jersey. Okay, so LeBron went through last year with the number 6, and now this year at the ESPYs he made the announcement that he will be giving up number 6, right? And you fact checker, Mr.
Yes,
Fact?
Bill Russell is the only player to have a number retired league wide.
Wow.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that for Kobe?
Which number would you retire? 8 or 24?
That's right. He had multiple numbers.
you
And he
gotta
played
make
half
things
his
I'm
career.
just asking, which one would you retire?
I just say, why can't they do it for Kobe?
They
question.
retired those numbers, I believe, for the Lakers. Like, nobody can ever wear 8 or 24 again for LA. But league-wise, I don't think it's retired, no.
I feel like
They didn't do it for Jordan either. LeBron's wearing 23.
Yeah, I know, but just certain situations and moments was like, yeah. Bill Russell was the man. I thought there was more controversy to it. Skip Bayless came out and said some. I don't know if y'all been following. I was asleep for the last week for real. So I haven't really followed it, but I know Skip was saying that there was some type of controversy.
I think the Bill Russell thing maybe just because not only what he meant to the game, you know, the saying more rings than fingers, but I think also what he meant to just the movement of the black athlete in the NBA. I mean, he came up in a time where segregation and racism were at an all-time high. So for him, his legacy just doesn't, it transcends the game of basketball, but it also had a huge impact on the game of basketball. So I think maybe that's why he was the first to get his number retired league-wise, just because there were so many tiers and layers to what he was and what he meant to the game of basketball. So maybe that's why. But I would love to see Kobe's number retired.
Speaking of the black athlete and segregation and what Bill Russell meant to so many, I have some news of the day, Corey, and then you can close us out before we go into DeAndre Hopkins. He finally signed. But C.R. Roberts, anybody know who C.R. Roberts? Mr. Fact Checker Corey, not Corey, I'm sorry. Woo. Do you know who C.R. Roberts is? Well, let me tell you. C.R. Roberts was somebody who broke down so many barriers for the black athlete and so many athletes before we were even born. So you go back to 1956 when he was playing at USC and, you know, the southern states didn't want the black players to come down. So first off, he just passed away at 87. Okay, so rest in peace, Mr. C.R. Roberts. But this is that was a powerful picture, and this is a powerful story because he actually said, you know what, I am going to play, right? And he actually went down into the deep, deep South, played in Texas, and went crazy. So he had 12 plays, 251 yards. USC won 44-20. USC coaches said they had to pull Roberts after only 12 carries because the all-white crowd at Texas probably was going to riot. So I just want to say salute and pay homage to someone who paved the way for a lot of us. And now we're watching 80% minority league, right? Well, he was one of the first to be able to break ground and do it, right?
80% minority, but I think 74 or 75% black.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So.
But yeah, 251 yards. He went out there was like, no, I'm going to make a statement. I know these people don't want me to play in front of them, but no, I'm going to go crazy. 251 yards and 12 carries. That's
Bro,
crazy.
when I read that, I was like, okay, cool. He had a big game. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised. Off of 12 carries.
That's
That's
almost
insane.
300.
Can you imagine if he played a full game?
Right, exactly.
He might have won 4,000 yards.
Yo, shout out to C.R. Roberts. Yeah, this story needs to be told more often.
I think it was like if you watch like their the Joe Brown story. There was one movie I couldn't wrap my head around. I was trying to do some
Joe
research.
or Jim?
Huh?
Jim
Brown. What
Jim
did I say?
Joe.
Yeah, you
So
said
Jim
Joe
Brown, excuse me, another legend that we just lost not too long ago as well. But in his movie, there was something similar. Remember, like they couldn't even get hotels in the Deep South.
Yeah.
People wouldn't even allow them to stay there. You know, you have to drive past midnight because people are sitting there throwing stuff at your bus or maybe even shooting at your bus. So there was the story's definitely been told several times. But it was definitely a part of the story in the movie, but I can't recall the movie.
I watched a movie over the weekend, the Jackie Robinson movie with Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, that was powerful too.
And it reminds me of, talking about that reminds me of a scene where they moved him in the middle after his first game with Montreal in the Daytona, I want to say it was, or somewhere in Florida. They moved him in the middle of the night because a white man came by the house that he was staying in.
Yep.
And basically said, get him out of here because there's more of me coming. Wow. And the owner that signed him had, the people who were in charge of managing him and stuff like that while he was at spring training, basically said, get him out of here, drive him to Daytona Beach, which was a safe haven. It was less racist, I guess. And in the middle of the night, they're driving, and they kind of get stuck behind a car in front of a bar, and is a bunch of white men in the bar, and they start walking towards the car once they see Jackie Robinson's on the inside, and the driver of the car just booked it around, and he wakes up, he's like, what the hell is going on? Because the owner said, don't tell him because I don't want him to have the urge to fight back. Just get him here. So he finds out why they're leaving in the middle of the night. And he goes, man, I thought I was getting cut. He was so immune to it. Yeah. Right. And it's when you think about it, it's, in a movie sense, it's funny. But when you actually think about how somebody was so immune to racism, it's just really... it's sad when you think about it, how just disassociated with he was with the racism that he constantly experienced. It was really sad, but it was an incredible movie. If you've never seen that movie, definitely check it out. It's a great film.
And listen, we can move on and we'll go straight into D-Hop. 1 second, I'm not sure what's going on in studio right now. I'm trying to figure this out. Sounds like our audio is good, and it's good. No, we're not.
It's the voice of God. It's the voice of God.
Let's just unplug it. There we go. That might be better. I think that's better. It's okay. We're on YouTube. But, part of my experience in Africa was going to Cape Coast. Cape Coast was a castle, slave castle.
Oh, yeah, you did tell us this story.
Yeah, I told you a little bit about that. So, it's full circle, where there was 3 million black men, women, and children that came through that little castle and made the journey over to America. And so it's an interesting time for me because I am in this space of observing and paying attention and learning. And so when you get to the heart of some of these issues, and you start learning the deep history, it's painful. Yeah. But anyways, we know these things. We'll keep talking about them, keep highlighting our legends. But D-Hop, what's going on in D-Hop? He finally signed?
He finally made his decision. So D-Hop, he signed a 2-year, $26 million contract with the Tennessee Titans. There's also $6 million available in incentives in that contract. But, we've been following him, and we saw him take visits to, of course, Tennessee and also the Patriots. And that was after being released by the Cardinals back in May. Guys, I want to ask you, was this where you saw D-Hop landing at the end of this process?
For me, I did not see D-Hop going to the Tennessee Titans. I really thought the Kansas City Chiefs would step up. I thought the Buffalo Bills obviously would step up. I thought there would be a team like that. I didn't think that he would have a huge market, but I definitely thought a contender would step up. Now, I understand now why the Kansas City Chiefs didn't put on a half-court press, because you hear now Patrick Mahomes saying Tony is a guy that he believes can be one of the best wide receivers in the league. And that's glowing remarks coming from a quarterback like that for one of his receivers. And the Buffalo Bills said they wanted him, but they wanted him at his price. And this is that market that, I talked about maybe a week or two ago where, well, it had to be more than a week ago, maybe about 2 weeks ago where, receivers or aging players, you got to wait. So the Tennessee Titans sat back, all offseason, didn't make any big moves. People thought they were going to potentially cut Derrick Henry, trade Derrick Henry, ask Derrick Henry to take a pay cut. They didn't even do that. They sat back. They played it safe, even in the draft. I wouldn't even say played it safe. They just did old school way, went big first. And then they finally make their move, and they get D-Hop. And I look at this, and I say this is the right move for the Tennessee Titans, and this could potentially be the right move for DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I think DeAndre Hopkins get the best of both worlds potentially, Ashley. Mm-hmm. I think he gets production, which we all need at this age of at this phase of our career. He needs a production, or his career is going to be done. Now he goes from making 20-something million a year to $13 million a year. Imagine if he doesn't have a big year this year, what's going to happen after that, right?
Right.
And I also think he gets an opportunity to win, but we can discuss that later.
Yeah.
I'm only a little bit thrown off by it because when we spoke to him, he had a very specific list of things that he needed, or wanted rather, to go to a new team. And while I'll say that maybe the front office, the management of the Tennessee Titans is probably much better than the Cardinals, I feel like that's a safe bet to make. I've never heard a bad thing about the Tennessee Titans organization of it being dysfunctional or it just not caring about its players. I mean, I've only heard good things about it, so you can check that box. But he mentioned wanting to go to a top quarterback, a team that had a top quarterback in the league. That's not Tennessee. When you think of those teams, you think of Baltimore, you think of Buffalo, you think of Kansas City, you think of Miami, you think of, some other, I don't think Tennessee.
Cowboys was in the mix.
Cowboys, Philly. I mean, not naming teams that were in the running for him, just naming teams that have top quarterbacks. The Chargers, there are just teams that come to your mind. You don't think Tennessee. So that's a little bit of a question mark, but we also spoke about the fact that, and I had asked Brandon this question, he signed with Clutch recently. And if DeAndre Hopkins is one of the people that I use as an example when we're talking about Lamar Jackson and how Lamar and his mom were dealing with this without an agent. DeAndre Hopkins famously was able to negotiate, I think, 2 contracts for himself without the help of an agent. When he signed with Clutch, you kind of were like, oh, okay, he's trying to get his money. He's trying to get it in full. So while I'm surprised, I'm also not surprised because we had that conversation and it seemed to me like what his criteria was for his career wasn't going to override the money, and it didn't because he got his money. So here we are.
I don't want that to be the narrative.
But Tennessee's not a bad team. Let's put it that way. It's not like he's going to Houston again. Tennessee's he's got a nice situation.
And I'm actually pro player representation, if I said that correctly.
What do you mean pro player representation?
I prefer a player to represent themselves. And the way that looks for me is for them to hire, a legal team that can negotiate the deals. So I don't want to subscribe to what you just said as far as DeAndre Hopkins signing with Clutch to get more money. I don't think that's the case. I think that move was based on relationships, right? Because when you get to this phase of your career, when there's no real market, then that's when you need an agent who knows this owner, that owner. Then you got general manager here, general manager there. That's when it takes time. The other 2 deals that you talked about with D-Hop, they came to D-Hop, right? When he was in Houston, they came to D-Hop. D-Hop put ball. The team start calling. Then he gets traded. He wanted out. He go to the Cardinals. That was easy. Now, when you're at this phase of your career, that's when you need an agent to come in and be at, what do they call it? The East-West Shrine game. You need an agent that's going to work the rooms at the NFL Combine, right? Like a lot of people think, the show is everybody running the 40s and bench pressing and being lured around like they're cattle with just their girdles on.
What are you saying to me right now?
The real work is when all the agents and general managers is meeting with everybody, getting the deals done for the opening season, which is a month later. So I'm saying that because, I just don't want to put that out there, Ashley, because I'm pro player representation. If I'm saying that,
I'm not pro, but I think that we can't ignore the fact that we would be dishonest if we didn't acknowledge the fact that sometimes money overrides what you want for yourself in your career. Like, yeah, you can say I want to go to a top 5 team. I want to go to a contender. That was the other thing. He said he wanted to go to a contender. Mm-hmm. Tennessee is not a contender. Yeah. So I think.
I mean, you're willing to say that?
Y'all want to finish y'all points first before we go there? Go ahead, finish your point.
I was just my whole point in saying is that it's not a unfair thing to. It's not an unfair thing to say that he went with the deal that was going to get him the most return, meaning the money, when he forgoed 2 out of the 3 things that he said that he wanted. I think that's a fair assessment to make. You said you wanted 3 things. You went to a team that really, we can argue it, but really only have 1 out of those 3.
And you would say that one was what?
That they have a good management. They have good management. They have a good front office, but they don't have a top quarterback.
Yeah, because all that other stuff is nonsense. When us players get up here, especially football players, basketball money's different. Golf money, for the most part, for the winners, different. Tennis money, well, nobody really making money unless you crack the top 20 or something.
Or endorsements.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's tough, but like football players. You got to take your money, point blank, period. All of this hometown discounts makes no sense at all. What are we talking about? I want to go win a championship. A ring? Boy, I'm about to curse right now. I don't give a damn about no Super Bowl ring right now. I care about Z, Ziggy, and Zoe Eaton. I care about grandma when grandma's sick. What you need, baby? I got the cash. Here you go. You feel me? My brother lost his eye. He ain't have no insurance. Guess who paid for that? Not no damn Super Bowl ring. Me taking all the money that was on the table, no hometown discounts. These teams don't care about you. So I agree with you, Ashley, when it talks about money, and it's just absurd for us players to go out there thinking that, oh yeah, I want to go win the Super Bowl. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. No, when that money's on the line, take the money.
No, I agree with you completely. Yeah. I guess for me, it's just then when you talk about the things that you want, why is that not number 1 then? Because
the money?
Yeah, because
it's hard for us to say that.
Why?
Then the fans going to look at you like you like.
Right.
But regardless, it goes full circle anyway, because if you give a list of things that you want and then you go to a team that has none of those things but was willing to pay you, all you did was prove what you really were looking for, and that's a contract, and that's fine. My whole thing is why not just come out and say that? Because if it really was about the 3 things that you named, then the money wouldn't have mattered, because
you got to be strategic. Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
Well, because I'm thinking he probably wouldn't even gotten that deal. I think now that he signed that deal, we can say all these things. And Brandon, I want to ask you this: do you think he was saying all of those to land this deal that he wanted?
No, it's not a great deal. This is not a good deal for D-Hop.
I mean, you don't think this is probably the best?
You don't think a 2-year, $26 million
it's probably the best. You don't think this is the best he was offered?
Based on what the market was, it wasn't like people were knocking down his door.
What he made last year? I'm about to tell you why. Can you Google? And how old is he too? How old is DeAndre Hopkins? What did he make last year?
He's 31 years old.
He's 31 years old. And
13.9 million.
He made how much last year?
13.9.
Last year he only made 13.9. So give me the contract with the Cardinals, because what we're looking at, I want to look at a per year. Give me his per year, because he probably got everything front loaded, and last year was probably just lower.
Yeah, it was 27.5 per year.
27.5 a year.
Yeah,
that's what D-Hop is. Ashley, he's a $27.5 million a year wide receiver. When I was playing, how many years ago? A long time ago. This is 2018, 2017. I was making $10 million a year. You mean to tell me in today's market, D-Hop is only worth $3 more million than me? I was 31, 32 33 making $10 million a year.
Oh, wow. Oh, you saying at the end of your career you was making
Yeah. It wasn't until like the Jets, the last 2 years, the Giants, and then the trash year, that I had to take a discount. I mean, I had to take a pay cut. But no, D-Hop is worth more. But what happens is when your production slips, they ask you to take a pay cut. And that's why it's important for players to do the right thing with their business. And that's do business.
I am not mad at him for taking the money. I'm not at all. And especially at this stage in your career. Listen, D-Hop still got it. I when we built our perfect wide receivers, I was the one who said the hands of DeAndre Hopkins because best hands in the NFL.
Right.
But wide receivers are getting younger. Every year the draft happens. Obviously, new classes are coming in. You get younger, you get healthier, you get, more and more competition for the vets, for the older guys. So you have to go ahead and take what you can get. I'm not mad at that. Right. I just think that when it comes to asking for the things that you want and saying the things that you want, I would not have an issue if he named all three of those things and said, but you know what? For me, I got to get paid.
Yeah.
Like, why? What's embarrassing and what's so, like, taboo about owning the fact that you want to get paid?
Well,
what's wrong with that?
I guess these teams want to know that they're getting a guy with the right mindset, too. I mean, I think teams want a guy that's a team guy.
You could be a team guy and still want to cash your check.
Man, like, receivers,
I don't understand this.
No team guy, throw me the ball guy.
I don't understand this ideology that, like, you can't be a team guy, a team player, and not want to get yours and not want to get paid. Like, the two are not related. They're not related ideologies. Like, me wanting to be a team player means I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna give you 100% every single day. But also being selfish to say, but you know what, by me doing that, I deserve X, Y, and Z in compensation. It doesn't make you a selfish person. It makes you a person who wants to get paid for their services, what they bring to a team. I don't understand why it's so taboo to say that you want these qualities in a team, but you also want to get yours. Why is that a bad thing?
So I want to push the conversation forward, and I do want to be clear here before we move on that I am in favor of D-Hop taking this deal, and I do think it was the best deal out there for him. And I think that in the end, the Tennessee Titans are gonna look like, geniuses, right? He's gonna go out there. He's probably gonna have over 1,000 yards. I don't know if he's gonna have 100 catches. Hell, but it's easy to throw to him. He's gonna have close to 90 and definitely over 10 touchdowns.
Okay.
And so when you look back on this statistically,
right?
I don't care. I don't give a damn if it's the Will Levis guy. You remember that guy? Which guy is that, Ashley?
The guy from the I just remember because he had the really pretty girlfriend.
No, what was he? Remember that was the dude eating what was he doing? Put mayonnaise in his coffee.
But I also remember because at the draft he had a really pretty. His girlfriend was sitting next to him. She was really pretty. I remember that.
Oh my God, you don't remember the coffee?
I do, the mayonnaise and the I remember.
Goodness. So listen.
And they had that other guy. Malik
Willis.
I
don't know what the hell's going on there.
But can we talk expectations as an offense for the Titans, though? Like, what are we expecting now that they have a D-Hop on the offense? What are we expecting out of the Titans?
So expectation for the Titans. So I wrote down a few things here. I wrote down 5 things. Number 1, not the most decorated coach, but the best coach. The second thing I wrote down, and these are the reasons why the Tennessee Titans, when I said earlier that they will be contenders. The last couple of months, I've been talking about dark horses. I've been talking about there's always that one team. And the teams that we've been talking about was the teams that came out of nowhere last year. Still talking about the Detroit Lions. Still talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, who's the Detroit Lions or the Jacksonville Jaguars this year? I truly believe it's the Tennessee Titans. It's a terrible, it's not a tough division. Who scares you in a division? Does the Texans scare you, Ashley?
No,
the Jaguars, honestly, it's probably
Jaguars.
The Jaguars scare you? What about the Colts? Does the Colts scare you?
No.
Okay, so like I said, number 1.
None of them scare me.
Right.
Like,
so these are reasons why this team could be a contender. Because if you go back just 2 years ago, they won like 12 games. Or can you tell me the last time they won 12, 13 games? Can you
Tennessee,
look at
right?
The Tennessee Titans.
Probably the year they went to the
it's not a bad team. They're not far off. What happened is they go and make this boneheaded move. They trade A.J. Brown, and they have nothing. They have nothing at all. Before you go, Woo.
Yep.
So, again, number one, like, damn, B, how many times you going to say number one? Not the most decorated coach because you have a Super Bowl winning coach in Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. That's why I said that. But he's the best coach. Number two, the most experienced quarterback. Look in the division. Most experienced quarterback. That matters. 3, best 1-2 punch in the league. I'll wait.
And who?
Best 1-2 punch in the league, and Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins.
Best 1-2 punch?
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Best 1-2 punch?
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Think about it. Might
What
be a
running
good top
back?
3 at
What
least.
one running back? Number one receiver duo is better. Dalvin Cook's no longer in Minnesota.
Jacobs and Adams.
Jacobs is not going back. And that would have been a debate. That would have been a debate.
That'd have been a
But
good
right
one.
now, we got till 4 o'clock to see if Josh Jacobs.
By the way, Tennessee did win 12 games in 21, 11 and 20, and from 2016 to 2019, just 9 and 7, continuously 9 and 7.
They put it in a row, right?
Woo. And Ashley, I'm about to throw it up to you real quickly. Okay, 4, I already said weak division, and 5. Tennessee and Jacksonville's defense is both shitty.
fair.
They are both giving up about 350
Fair.
yards a game.
Fair.
And about 21 points a game.
Fair.
Tennessee's just a little bit better.
Okay.
So I think the division is up for grabs. That's why I believe the Tennessee Titans is going to come out as the Titans at the end of this year.
Where are you setting the over-under in wins for the Titans, Ashley?
Ooh.
I'm going to go. I think this is a 500 team.
Really?
Oh, my goodness. Ashley, after
everything Brandon just said.
I think the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars win the division. Maybe 500 is not nice. Maybe that's more of like a cult record.
Maybe
I'll go
games,
maybe
9 and 7, like they've been doing.
Maybe
Yeah.
a 9-season win.
9 and 7.
Maybe
Ashley.
9 and 7, 10 and 6. Maybe not much more.
Where did
than
I
that.
lose you? I
think the Jaguars are the team that are gonna. I just think that. I mean, look at what they did last season.
See, again, everyone won last year. Football, NFL. What have you done for me lately?
I know, but you have to look at what they did last season and think, okay, would you say that they've gotten better this season?
Jags?
Mm-hmm. Would you say they got better? Even if the slightest bit, would you say they got better?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Trevor Lawrence has another year under his belt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that works. That works in the favor of the Jaguars to come out of that division. I don't have my money on the Tennessee Titans. Will they be a bottom tier team in that division? No. Are they going to be winning that division? No. 500, 9 and 6, 10 and 7, not more than that. I don't see them surpassing that.
I owe you a bag allegedly because I still haven't heard the soundbite where we bet a bag.
Yeah.
And you owe me glasses. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Can we bet on this?
What's the bet?
Can we do another bet?
Over under 10 wins? Is that the bet?
You know what we're going to do? Let's do a staycation. Not obviously not together or anything, but
I got to pay for a staycation.
yeah, like one hotel or something.
Jesus, Christmas. What is the
What
bet
do you mean?
though? That
Look at this bag that you just walked in
That's
with.
not a designer bag.
Can I see this bag?
It's not a designer bag.
It definitely is designer.
No, it's not.
What is this?
This is just a tote. This is not a designer bag.
I thought she was about to
This
pull
bag
up a
was like
Saint Laurent.
$150.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See,
He thought he got me, and I was gonna pull up with a Birkin or something.
a
That is
Birkin,
not what
right.
this is.
hey, that's like Ocho. Listen, when you look like money, you can put whatever on. They gonna think it's money,
They gonna
right?
assume it's something.
Hey, she pulling out Ocho right
That's
now.
not. This is not money.
Yeah.
Pulling
This
out
is just
Ocho.
a regular
Is
bag.
that
I know when you
crocodile skin?
brought that in, I said, "Dang." We lost her.
This isn't even real croc.
I said we lost her. When Wu walked her in, because Ashley's still on crutches, y'all.
They can see my foot, Brennan.
Woo. When you walked Ashley in and I seen that bag, I said, man, we lost her.
What?
Yeah.
What? That thing right there, if that was a Hermes, that's $20,000 at least.
You think I was?
No, that's
so you thought she was
That's
walking
$25,000 at least. And I said she did it. She did it.
I didn't do it. No.
I thought she was walking around with 25,000.
Bruh.
Hermes?
Ashley tell you how much a bag like that from Hermes costs.
Yeah, it's bare minimum. It will start like 15 grand.
Sheesh.
Well, that right there, crocodile or whatever
No,
that is.
the croc
If
and the ostrich Birkin will go for like 25,000.
That's what I'm saying.
Nice.
Yeah, that's crazy. I done been there.
But it appreciates it appreciates in value though.
You know who helped me get my first Birkin bag?
Who?
DJ Envy.
Shout
Yep,
out
I was
Envy.
playing for the Jets, and it was Christmas time.
Damn.
But it was a day before Christmas, and I had no gifts to put underneath the tree, Ashley. And I always do this. Wait to the last minute. So you know what happens when you wait to the last minute,
That's a
fellas?
buzzer beater right there.
Now you got to go big.
You gotta go big. You don't got time, so you just gotta go get big shit.
Right.
One Christmas, I come home from practice, Ashley. I get into the city. I ain't got nothing. So I walk down Fifth Ave. Woo, you ever been to Fifth Ave in New York?
Possibly.
Don't go.
Possibly.
Don't go back.
I've been
I
to
walk
Soho.
into Cartier. I say, help me. They said, okay, sir, let me pull you over
You said,
here.
help me.
Guess how much? Guess how much they took out of my check?
40 grand.
65.
The reason why I said that, because I'm looking at a used Birkin online.
It's not used,
185.
185.
Yeah, I just was like, I just Googled
yeah.
average cost of Birkin bags, and I'm looking at a used one for 185.
Oh yeah, but see, that's why I
going
said
for that?
DJ
They
Envy was the one.
appreciate in value. I
Yeah.
That's what
tell
I
you
was. That's
that.
why I was looking it up to see.
Yes. If you
Yeah.
bought a Birkin bag, say today for like 10 grand, in 5 years you can probably resell it for like 60.
Yeah, like
It's a great investment, honestly. If you can afford to buy one, it's a great investment. Drake has a whole closet of Birkins for his future wife that just sit
right.
in the closet.
How much do you think I've spent on bags and shoes over the last 16 years?
At least $1 million.
Jewelry.
Oh, jewelry too?
Yeah.
3.
3
Well,
mil,
3 mil?
3.5,
Oof.
maybe.
I'm like because I'm the type of dude just wear white tee. Long as
That's
my
a
lady
lie.
good, huh?
That is such a lie.
I'm now getting into glasses. That's it. What else? Well, I got a little rolly,
Little Rolly.
little glasses, white tee, fresh shoes, and my lady got everything else.
So
part.
I got an actual announcement. I don't know if you guys knew this. BC just put me up on game. So the actual creator, Jane Birkin,
Yeah, she
actually
passed
passed
away
away
yesterday.
yesterday.
But
Yesterday?
she wasn't a creator.
Oh,
Hermes
wow.
is
Rest
the
in peace.
creator.
Oh,
She was just what
she
the
was
bag
a-
was
she was
named
the
after.
inspired-
Okay,
she was the
the
inspiration.
inspiration.
They
Okay.
named
Oh,
the bag
wow.
after her.
Yeah, I did see that. Shout out to BC for bringing that up.
Yeah. Damn, rest in peace, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, RIP.
So I don't know what we were talking about. I thought we were talking sports. This is Brandon Marshall, Ashley, Nicole Moss, Corey in the cut, BC in the booth, and Woo Out West. What were we talking about? The expectation of DeAndre Hopkins, and somehow we start talking about Birkins and
Birkins.
Cartiers and stuff. Where are we at, Ashley?
We're moving past DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, so if we wanted to wrap D-Hop up, I got something else for you.
I actually
wanna
have a
get y'all
bone to
thoughts
pick
on
with
something.
Corey.
Do you really?
I
What's
do.
that bone?
Look at my situation here. It's bare.
It's bare?
It's bare. I usually have water. I usually
See what I'm
have
saying?
a smoothie, and it's bare.
See, she putting on.
I don't ask for anything, guys.
What's on
I have
what's on
one
your rider,
foot.
Ashley?
Right? Even Brandon knows that. Brandon used to come into the
I ain't make that
studio
call,
with sushi, and I would look at him like, did you get me sushi? And he would go, no,
we
because I know the
falling
smoothie is your thing. And now I can't even get that.
Jeez, we falling off.
Yo.
Hey, that's on me. I'm going to take that.
At least I have water.
Look at that water. Bring that water.
Nadine at least
Come on,
got
bring
me
the
water.
Yeah.
Because the men here were going to let me die. Thank you.
Hey, I thought that was
You
the smoothie.
perfect
I'm like, that was
timing.
wild.
Because the men were going to let me die.
Wow.
That's so crazy.
That's
My
crazy.
apologies. Lo siento.
Typical.
Hit him with some Spanish. Now, I want to get y'all's thoughts on this, though. Bengals running back Joe Mixon restructured his deal to stay with the Bengals. So he was originally set next season to make $10.1 million with a cap number of 12.7. So, $2 extra million in incentives. But he just had to restructure his deal. So now his new deal will pay him $5.5 million in 2023. And he also took a $4.6 million pay cut for that following year. So really over the next 2 years, he's going to be short $9 million with this new deal. It's a cold world, isn't it, Brandon, for these running backs?
It definitely
cold world, no blanket.
It definitely is. I'm just going to take a deep breath because I feel like I'm raving a little hot right now. And I don't want to overheat. I've been overheating for 6 weeks. But this is another example of why these players need to do what's best for them. So there's Joe Mixon, who just took a pay cut. What's the kid's name in Dallas?
Well, speaking of Dallas, while you're thinking on that thought, it has just been reported as of 10:43 a.m. Multiple reports are saying that Cowboys running back Tony Pollard is expected to play on the $10 million franchise tag that he signed back in March. Now, it's interesting enough because Jane Slater, who works very closely covering the Cowboys, when she asked about how far both sides were from an actual extensive extension discussion, they said that they weren't that far apart. So clearly things have changed. So it is Tony Pollard going to be playing on the franchise tag as a deal with him and the Dallas Cowboys could not have been met.
And this is terrible news. Any parents out there that have your kids in football, if the coach says, "Hey, we love Johnny," or "We love little Tyrone. Tyrone's the fastest out there. He's the toughest. We want him to wear old 20 because he reminds us of Barry Sanders," or maybe it's 22 because it's Emmitt Smith. You know what you do when you look at that coach. You look at him and you say, "If you don't get the hell out my face, my son will never, ever play running back." That's what you're supposed to do, because this running back position is dead. And actually, I don't understand why the Joe Mixons of the world, the Tony Pollards of the world who you just mentioned, the Saquon Barkleys of the world, the Dalvin Cooks of the world, the Jacobs of the world, why haven't there been any type of seminar, any type of powwow getting together and saying, you know what, we gotta figure this out ourselves. Mm-hmm. Because obviously the league has come together and said, we no longer appreciate the running back. We no longer value the running back. No longer. And this is why I get frustrated with players sometimes. Like, we be so scared. So scared. We're so scared to stand up and fight for our business. Isn't that business? It's not always easy. You're not always going to get along with everybody. Sometimes you got to walk in and say, this is not fair. This is not right. Now you want me, Tony Pollard, to come in and put everything on the line. I worked my ass off to get to this point, to get a deal that's going to take care of my family for the rest of their lives. Take care of my kids. Now I can't do that. Joe Mixon. You talked about Joe Mixon. Had to restructure his deal. Joe Mixon. He finally gets in position, gets the deal. 2 years into the deal, they ask him to restructure his deal. Do you think Joe Mixon's going to be in a better position than a Ezekiel Elliott or a Dalvin Cook in a year or two from now to get a bigger deal? No. It's over. It's done.
What does this say about the owners, though? Because they have to know that that's happening. They have to know that they're devaluing that position to the point where people, like you said, are not going to tell their kids to be running backs.
Great businessmen.
Yeah, they say.
But I'm saying, is this an intentional move to eliminate the position?
It's not to eliminate the position. You got to understand that I was looking at these numbers last night a little bit. I was looking at like all the Hall of Fame running backs. If you look at this closely, we're talking about from outside of like Emmitt Smith. But you look at Barry Sanders, you look at Edge, you look at LT, you look at Fred Taylor, He's not a Hall of Famer yet, but should be a Hall of Famer. You look at all these great running backs. Right around 9, 10 is just a drop-off.
It's a hard position.
It's a hard position. It really is.
It's a passing league now.
Right.
So that's why most of the running backs you see getting paid, not obviously to the level that they were getting paid back in the day of Ezekiel Elliott and things like that, are dual threat running backs, meaning they have hands. They can also be part wide receiver, part running back.
Correct.
A traditional battering ram is just no longer the direction that the league is headed. Now, could it come full circle? Everything usually does. When will that happen? No idea. So the running backs who are more of that traditional quote unquote dying breed are having a hard time getting deals because the league is already so many light years ahead of where that position used to be dominant. And that's not to say a running back is still not an intricate part of the offense. It is. You still need to be able to run the ball. That's common sense. But you're not going to invest a bunch of money into a position that, like Brandon said, drops off in a few years compared to your other positions, especially if that running back cannot also be a wide receiver. And it's unfortunate, but it's been headed in that direction for a few seasons now.
A long time. But Ashley, I do want to say this. They do deserve the one deal, right? They do deserve year 4, year 5, like where Saquon Barkley's at.
Big one.
Saquon Barkley deserves his deal. What made that team? Well, I'm picking on you today. What made the Giants surprise us last year?
Their running game.
Oh, dang. Ashley wanted to jump in there. It wasn't even for Ashley, but great job, Ashley.
Sorry.
Yes, Ashley's right. Ding, ding, ding. Ashley is right. Bro, they were number 3, Woo. The Giants' running game was 3 in the league. Who led the running game? Saquon Barkley. So now this man.
And you know who was number 2?
Daniel
Jones.
Lamar Jackson.
No, I meant it on the Giants.
The Ravens.
It was literally like that was their running back tandem. Their 1-2 punch. It was Saquon Barkley and Danny Dimes. It was actually very sad.
Brandon Marshall here, Ashley, Nicole Moss, Corey in the cut, Woo Out West, BC in the booth, Sirius XM for all of our listeners. You can always go back and listen to past shows. Faction Talk Channel 103.
Well, on the topic of Saquon, I mean, listen, the date is approaching. What's today's
date?
It's today. Okay, so today at 4. We've been speaking about Saquon. I got the dates because I thought it was the 16th. Here we go. We've been talking about this for a while, and now the date is finally here. Obviously, and one of the things that I said on this show a few times was that the Giants are going to play chicken with Saquon. And if you guys aren't familiar with the game of chicken, basically it's like when 2 cars are coming at each other full speed to see which one turns out of the way first. Yeah. And if we don't, we're both going to crash into each other. So it's basically a game of will. Who has the bigger cojones, if you will, right? Okay? So the Giants were never going to budge because they knew the deadline was in their favor. One way or another, we're going to get you, Saquon. Yeah. So it's going to be either on your terms or it's going to be on my terms. But I'm in the driver's seat of making sure it's on my terms. And here we are, the 17th. And we have a few hours until 4. Yep. It doesn't look like a deal is going to be reached. The franchise tag looks like a very strong possibility. So, Brandon, what do you do? Do you sit out?
I know. It looks
or do you take the money?
There might be 2 of the running backs sitting out.
So, before I even answer that question, can I ask you this question? What's the name of the game if there's only 1 car on the street? You have Saquon Barkley, and then you have the Giants just sitting there like, we ain't playing this shit. Like, you just driving up and down by yourself.
That's just driving practice, I guess. I don't know what that is.
That's what's happening. The Giants was like, they're like savages. Ashley, I think that Saquon signs the deal that's on the table. I think there is a long-term deal. If you call it a long-term deal, maybe a 3-4 year deal that's out there. When I talked to Saquon at the charity at Devontae's
softball game.
Yeah, Smith's charity softball game, it seemed like he understood the market. knew he wasn't going to get his true value, but still was fighting with them over some pennies. Okay? And so I think that deal still sits on the table, and I think he takes that deal by 4 o'clock.
Well, there was the report that he was offered, what was it, $13 million a year?
Uh-huh.
And he said cap. We were trying to defer whether that meant cap, that was the number, or cap that he was offered a deal at all.
Yeah.
I tend to believe that he was offered a deal at all, because the way that he has been speaking about this situation for these past few weeks, he sounds like a player who's very much aware of where the market is right now. And he's not trying to be like, get astronomically more than what the market is dictating. But he also sounds like somebody who just wants to get paid what they're worth. I have a hard time believing that someone who has that insight would call cap on $13 million. Right. It sounds to me like a deal was never offered.
Right.
So what deal are you referring to that's on the table? The franchise tag?
Well, I mean, I don't know how to be an insider, so I would just not say too much at all. But no, there was reports that there was a deal offered last year.
Okay.
Right? And that same deal,
higher or lower than 13 a year?
I don't know the numbers. But because he's right now offered the non-exclusive, which is at 10, right?
Yeah, 10.1.
And there was a report that the Giants offered him 13 in an actual deal.
Well, I think that's kind of true, because I think they offered him 13. That was the deal from a year ago.
The same one,
but
right?
then they rescinded that one. Remember, they took a deal back, and then they gave him a lower deal. That's why I'm calling the Giant savages, and I'm saying, what is the name of the game when there's only one car instead of 2 cars? You got chicken here. What is it called when the Giants say, you know what, we're removing ourselves from this? And that's why I was saying a couple of weeks ago, if I'm Saquon, I don't even know I guess I'm just different, man. I wouldn't be able to go back in that locker room. For my homies, yeah, we cool. But again, at the end of the day, I'll meet y'all after the season in Paris. Meet y'all in Miami. We can all go in on a yacht. But I'm going to go over here.
I'm in Miami.
You know what I'm saying? I got to go take care of Z, Ziggy, and Zoe. You feel me? You want me to come back in your organization and play for you? No respect. It's how you did it.
Yeah.
And I know it's business. And I know other owners would probably have done it. But I also know that there's an owner out there right now, and this is for certain. There was the Giants won't trade him, but there's at least 2 teams that would trade for Saquon and give him a better deal than the Giants. And that's what would piss me off every day I would walk into that locker room, knowing that another team valued me more than the team that drafted me and the team that I helped get back into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what sucks as a fan, is you saw that happen, and now your own team is now choosing to put him to the wayside. So,
sheesh. All right, before we move on real quick, if Saquon signs today, what do you think he signs for a year?
Well, that non-exclusive, I think Ashley talked about the game of chicken. I think it's going to be somewhere around 10 to 11 million a year.
We shall see. All right, yeah, moving on, guys. We got a segment coming up where Brandon's actually going to take us through his sleepers going into next season.
Ew.
So, yeah, no, this should be interesting. Brandon, who you got as your sneaky snipers?
My sneaky snipers. I don't love the name of this.
Sneaky snipers.
I know. I was
sneaky snipers.
Did I send you this when I was in the hospital?
You did. Oh, yeah, I
was probably on medicine.
No, this a cool name. No, who we got sniping in the cut, right? They in the cut. We don't know where they at. We don't know what they're doing right now, but they're making moves. Who are the sneaky snipers heading?
Yeah, so when I'm sitting in the hospital, Ashley got so much time.
Stop saying sneaky snipers. It's freaking
I know. I came up with this name, and then I'm like, yo, I don't have the capacity, the energy to even think about something more creative. But I was like, I'm looking for a name that will highlight an individual or a team, Ashley, that nobody's talking about, but they are low key about to fire off on the whole league. The first one, Rand Carthon. Do we have a graphic for this? Rand Carthon. Give him his throne, new general manager. by way of the 49ers. Rand Carthon, what does he do? He goes into a weak division. Some would say, historically, a tough division. But over the last, 5-7 years, been struggling. And he says, you know what? I'm going to take this job. Mike Vrabel, I like old Mike Vrabel. He's cut from the same cloth that I'm cut from. Rand Carthon, he gets the gig. He didn't go play with the king. You don't play with the king. We just talked about the running backs, Ashley. Remember, there was talk that Derrick Henry could potentially be traded. Yes. Did he trade him? No. You ain't hear nothing. Did he cut him? No. He went in the draft. What he did the same thing because he come from the whole Bill Parcells tree. Let me go get me an interior guy. You build our team from within, inside out. So he gets a left tackle with the number 11th pick. And then what'd he do? To end out the summer, he put his name in the hat in the DeAndre Hopkins sweepstake. And they win. Rand Carthon is probably going to find himself as the general manager of the year. No one's expecting the Tennessee Titans to do what they're about to do. The Tennessee Titans are not only going to win a division, but they'll probably win 12 games.
12.
I'm telling you, Ashley, I looked at the schedule last night, and there's probably 4 or 5 teams on that schedule that's like, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns. You pulling it up, Woo?
Yes, I am.
There's only 4 or 5 teams. What is the Saints going to do? So that's my Brandon Sneaky Sniper. Do you have another name for the Brandon Sneaky Snipers?
I don't know, but we got to get rid of Brandon Sneaky Sniper.
I was on some meds, Ash.
Well, what's Corey's excuse?
Hey, no, I mean, I was digging it at first, so I'm just like, I'll go with Sneaky Snipers.
Hey, no help. No help. Corey, no help, bro. You knew I was hurting.
I wanted to rock with you.
You knew I was hurting.
I wanted to rock with your title.
All right, another Sneaky Sniper on the Brandon Sneaky Sniper list, Ashley. Mm-hmm. Now, some would say, like, Brandon, come on, please. Not a sneaky sniper. I would say yes. Ashley, who's your too early Super Bowl prediction? Who do you have in the Super Bowl?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And the Cincinnati Bengals.
And the Cincinnati Bengals. Corey, keep the same answer from
Miami Dolphins.
When we were earlier. No.
Same exact answer?
Same answer from what we talked about earlier.
Okay. All right, so what I said was I got the Eagles coming out of the NFC. And the AFC, I told them the AFC Championship is definitely going to be the Dolphins and the Bengals. But I think the Bengals will represent the AFC. But I won't be mad if the Dolphins go. So
this is a homegrown Miami Dolphin fan. Not one of those fickle Miami Dolphin fans.
What?
He ain't that. And he not picking the Miami Dolphins to win the Super Bowl.
I do this every year. You know what I'm saying? I do this every year.
The reason why they're on my Brandon's Sneaky Sniper list is because this team, not enough are talking about as a Super Bowl contender. They go out there and they go get Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator. That was the biggest move of the offseason across the league. 2, they go get Jalen Ramsey. Is he done or not? I don't think so.
No, he's a dog.
He's gonna run into the camera the first day and be like, Cam, I'm back.
4 picks
3.
minimum for the both of them.
Guess who else they go get? Because everybody keep talking about, and I'm leading this whole crowd, this whole community. This is community led by Brandon Marshall.
Oh, God.
Tua Tagovailoa. He's the X factor. Is he going to be healthy or not? And now we can't even play around with that because head trauma is a big thing. But they go get Mike White.
Yeah.
They go get Mike White.
That was a very slept-on move by the Dolphins.
Another sneak. He needs to be on Brandon's Sneaky Sniper list.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Ashley, you're going to be proud of me. I'm finally going to get it right. They go get Chosen.
Okay,
not Robbie Anderson, formerly known as Robbie Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Chosen. So now you got the fastest receiving corps out there. And not only is what people when they think about chosen, because I played with this guy. When I was a vet, he was a rookie coming in. This dude is like that. I don't know what's been happening over the last couple years, but the dude can run every route on the route tree. He played big. Like he taking peanuts off your head. He like that. So now you got Waddle, Tyreek Hill, who's going for 2,000 yards, what he says. And then you got Chosen. Oh, my goodness.
Fins up, boy.
All right. Can we go to the third? Well, let me see. Let me see how I want to intro my last one, Ashley. Can you guess the last team? It's a team.
Now, you got two more, I thought.
I got two more. I got one more. Oh, I do have two more. Oh, I do have two more. The Atlanta Falcons found their way on Brandon's sneaky sniper list. Already third in the league in rushing.
I hate this name, but he knows that I hate it. But he keeps saying it over and over again. Unnecessarily at that, too. We heard the name of the list the first 12 times he said it. But he keeps going. Next on Brandon's Sneaky Snipers. That's why I added this guy to Brandon's Sneaky Snipers. He's a sneaky sniper. You're a sneaky sniper. I'm a sneaky sniper. We're all sneaky snipers.
Snipe.
The Atlanta Falcons on Brandon's list. Okay.
I was waiting for it. He didn't give it to me.
So they're already third in the league, Ashley, in rushing. And what do? They go out there and draft one of the best running backs that the draft has seen over the last 5 to 10 years in Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
See how I'm working on my names, Corey? You
are
feeling me today?
Good.
I'm in my bag. Jesse Bates, Calais Campbell, two veterans they add. Now, Jesse Bates, still in the prime of his career. Calais Campbell, towards the tail end, but still extremely, extremely valuable for a very young team. So you bring in a guy like that adds so much. And who this Desmond Ridder? You remember, again, working on my names. Are you proud of me?
I'm really happy right now.
So Desmond Ridder, guy that we've been talking about on this show for the last couple months. Corey, I went back and I did some research because I told you I liked him. I liked him because I looked in his eyes at this charity flag football event, and then Jordan Palmer also said, this guy got it. I love this demeanor. So then I went back. I said, let me Google this guy. Did quick search, and guess what I found?
What's up?
4-year starter. Well, found something else. Born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. Made his way to Cincinnati for college. 4-year starter. 2,200 yards, 2,400 yards, 2,600 yards, then boom, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Just crazy numbers. Yeah. He's going into his second year. Desmond Ridder is like that. Okay. So the Atlanta Falcons found themselves on Brandon's sneaky snipers list. And I know Ashley doesn't like it. And the last team that found themselves on Brandon's sneaky sniper list, I'm going to leave it up to you guys for anybody to guess except Corey. Corey knows it. Right. Ashley, would you guess this team? NFC. Hint. That's my only hint.
Sneaky sniper NFC.
This is a team that's like, whoa, what are they doing?
Definitely not guessing this one.
All right, hold on. Can I know what side of the country they're on? Give me that hint.
Nah, that might give
East
it away.
Coast or West Coast? This is going to be East Coast or West Coast.
I might give it away, yo.
Can't do it.
Okay, NFC. You can't be the 49ers. That's not sneaky.
Will, you got anybody?
I saw the list. I don't want to give it away.
No, I'm not going to. Broncos is not NFC, so it can't be them.
I'll give you one.
Give me a hint. Cowboys?
Javon Walker played for him.
Javon Walker.
What?
I know. I'm trying to remember who Javon.
Who did he play for?
Yeah, I know.
Was he a tight end? Was he a tight end or receiver? I think
the Packers.
Oh, I was gonna say Packers.
You should have said that.
I saw green in my head. I saw green in my head. I was like, is it the Packers?
That's why the East and West Coast question would have gave it away.
No, it wouldn't have, because they're in the middle of the country.
Exactly. No,
we
gave
said
it away.
Midwest, you'd have been like,
You should have got. You should. Oh, yeah.
Are they not sneaky to you? Right.
I don't know. I'm more
In
worried
my
about
opinion, they not
Detroit right
sneaky at
now
all.
in that same
They're gonna be
division.
sitting at the bottom of the NFC
Yo.
North.
You know, like
You
the
got
way
the-
they ended last year.
I don't. You feel like they're sneaky?
Mike LaFleur,
I don't feel
his
like
first
that.
opportunity
He's a
to
great
do
coach.
things his way without having a legendary, big-hitted quarterback to question everything in his way. So now you got this young, fresh team that's out there just running and gunning. And it seems like, from what I'm hearing, up for the challenge. Everybody keeps saying stuff that sounds crazy. Oh, yeah, we're ready. Oh, we're not going to miss a beat, et cetera, et cetera. We know they are. I mean, maybe not, because they won 7 games last year?
8 and 9.
But here's why I'm pushing back on that a little bit. Is I have a hard time believing in Jordan Love this early. Like, this is a guy who hasn't played with this team in any capacity. I don't even know if he can play football. Like, I haven't seen him. You know what I mean? Like, this is not somebody who we can say we saw for half the season. This is not somebody we can say we saw for a couple of games. This is somebody that we are literally being introduced to him for the first time. And we don't know what he can do. He may not be able to do anything, and he may be the second coming of Aaron Rodgers. We don't know. We're in for a roller coaster of a ride. We don't know anything about him.
So with Jordan Love, I just looked up his college stats. He had almost 7,000 yards in 2 years, but it was 2018, 2019.
We're not in college anymore. Lou. I don't care
know.
about
It's kind of
that.
like
I'm talking as
sketchy.
a
That is a lot of
professional
yards,
athlete
man.
in the NFL. I don't
a lot
know
of
what
yards.
he can do. I don't know a thing about him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. How was it sneak? I was surprised you didn't put Chicago on there.
Well, I've been
At
talking
least you
about
know what Justin Fields is
Chicago.
capable of.
You like my list?
The Packers is throwing me for a loop. I'm not gonna lie. The Packers are throwing me for a loop.
Or you got 10 seconds to change this name, or it will forever remain. And I'm going to do this once a
Again.
week throughout the
I said
season.
once a week.
Brandon Sneaky Snipers. 10,
Brandon
9,
Sneaky.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
I can't come up with something that quickly. I don't like snipers though.
Brandon Sneaky Snipers it is.
And it's a contradiction because a sniper is sneaky, so you don't need to go ahead and put sneaky in front of snipers. A sniper is snicky. That's why they're a sniper.
Doesn't make
come
them
on,
more
son.
sneaky.
It's an adjective.
No, a sneaky sniper. A sniper is sneaky.
Adverb.
That's why they say you
Adverb.
never a
It's an
sniper from
adverb.
the side. You never see a sniper coming.
So I think it makes sense. I think, aren't you like kind of giving a reason as to why we should keep it?
No, a sniper. What I'm saying is it's redundant. A sniper is already sneaky. You can't have an obvious
Well,
sniper that he's not a sniper.
Then that's like a boring title. Brandon Snipers. You can't do Brandon Snipers. You gotta add
The
like
best
a
I
nice
have for
Someone
you
said
guys.
Brandon Sleepers.
Sneaky Links.
Huh?
Not a
Sleepers.
Brandon
sleep.
Sleepers.
Links.
Yeah, the sneaky links.
Sneaky
Sneaky
links.
Sneaky sleepers.
Sneaky sleepers.
Oh my goodness.
Because you can't be a sneaky.
Y'all got me
sleeper,
worked
you know
up in here. My temperature probably 102 right now.
man.
Yo, you know how I feel? Well, y'all know how it is. Temperature being 101 to 103
Yeah, it's hot out
for
here,
5-6
boy.
days.
Every day's
No,
record
No, I'm talking
setting.
about me personally, your personal temperature.
Yeah, he said no.
Oh, my
Internal, not
goodness.
external.
Oh,
Bruh, when's the last time you had a fever?
COVID.
COVID. Yeah, right.
Yeah, COVID.
Oh my goodness, I had COVID.
I had
COVID.
nasty chills though.
Yeah,
Like it's so
chills
weird to
are
be
cool.
under the sheet, cold and sweating. It's like,
No,
what am
it's
I
not
doing?
cool to be outside in Florida and you're cold and you're sweating.
Yeah.
That's how you know something wrong. You're like, yeah, nah.
Correct. You know
Yeah,
you
that's when I
coming
knew
out.
something was wrong.
Yeah, for real. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's check out the TL, see what's been going on Twitter. So I wanted to ask you guys about this.
Twitter's still a thing? I thought it was Threads.
Threads?
It's Threads, it's Twitter, it's Spill, it's Blue Sky.
What is this Spill?
It's
What is this
like,
Spill? I
how
saw
many
you
apps
say-
do you have on your
What
phone?
is
Like,
Spill?
it's like, yeah,
Spill is
platform
like,
overload.
think of Black Twitter, but on its own app.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it cool?
I never heard of Spill.
I mean, I'm not going to hold you. I've done it. I did it for like 2 days. But when I was on it, it was cool.
It's just too much. Like
It's just too much to remember. Right now I have Twitter and I have Threads. I can't do any more than that.
that's too
Yeah,
much
no.
going on.
I have a Spill account.
I'm going to have to look into Spill.
I have a Blue Sky account. It's just too much. I just can't. I can't
I
get
saw
a grip.
Ashley posted, then I went and tried to get Spill, and they talking about sign up for membership and we'll get back to you. I said, man, y'all
What?
tripping.
I have tickets if you want one.
Man, I don't want that. They should have just let us in.
Yeah.
What, you got to be black or something?
No, it's just an invite thing.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
All right, so look, let me know what you guys think. Brian Windhorst believes Kyrie Irving was the best guard that LeBron James ever played with. And with that, I mean, considering LeBron's position, it's probably, insinuating that that's probably the best player he's ever played with as well. But I want to ask y'all that. That's the question there. Is Kyrie Irving the best guard that LeBron James has ever played with?
I will say this, absolutely no. Absolutely not. It's Dwayne Wade.
Gotta give it to him, right?
Right? Like, I mean, it's simple. Before LeBron went to Miami, took his talents there, you got to look at what he was doing still in the East, but in Cleveland. So in 2003 is when he got to the league. They were 35-47. They were 9th in the Eastern Conference. The following year, they were 9th. And then after that, much better, 4th, then 2nd, then 4th, then 1st, then 1st. Couldn't get it done. Then he said, you know what? The hell with this. I'm going to go to Miami. They go there, and that's the not 1, not 2, 1, 2, 3, not 4. Damn, they 6, 7. They was tripping. They was tripping.
Yeah, Corey.
But guess what? They came out there year 1. They couldn't get it done. LeBron came out, tried to, embrace this whole villain role. It wasn't him. He was a shell of himself, right? Was that the year that Dallas got it done and not them?
Yep.
Okay.
They lost to Dallas.
But then the following year they get it done and they go back to back, Ashley. Mm-hmm. So they go back to back. It was D Wade that got LeBron over the hump. It was D Wade that was the one that said, this is how you get it done and be a champion. D Wade got this done with an old Shaq. If we gonna be honest, Slash. Mm-hmm. Right? I ain't taking nothing away from LeBron. But sometimes, man, when you walk in the locker room and you see a dude like that and the way he move and the way he respond to certain criticism, the way he respond to certain adversity, that's all you need to see to take your career to a whole nother level. And so, yes, from a skill set standpoint, it's no debate. LeBron even said that recently, maybe this week. From a skill set standpoint, Kyrie Irving is the best person we've ever seen with the ball in his hand, and he's not talking about his place in the all-time rankings list.
Yeah.
But when we talk about best guard, D Wade, did we forget who D Wade is?
They might have.
For real, I think they might have.
We forgot, and not only that, like if you do want to compare places in history, D Wade is farther on that list than Kyrie Irving.
Correct.
And I think when it's all said and done, he's still going to be in a better position. And I like Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Some would say D Wade taught LeBron how to win.
Well, me and BC in the booth was having a conversation before this show. I feel Dwayne Wade is a top 3 shooting guard of all time. And is that a realistic statement, Ashley? What you think? You think?
Well,
Dwayne
my
Wade
answer is Kyrie.
So I guess that's
if we're talking about the best teammate LeBron has ever had, the answer is D Wade. But we're talking about the best guard LeBron has ever played with, the answer is Kyrie. He has better ball handling. He has a better skill set than D Wade. He's a better shooter than D Wade. I mean, he doesn't win in Cleveland without Kyrie.
Is he more clutch than D Wade? Because that's D Wade's argument.
No.
Kyrie's pretty damn
makes
clutch.
The play when you need to make the play.
Kyrie's pretty damn clutch. I mean, he can turn it on in the fourth quarter like a Super Saiyan. We've seen him do some incredible. He disappears for an entire game and then pops up out of nowhere. I mean, he's pretty damn clutch.
He's definitely a
I think also when you think about that Cleveland Cavalier team where Kyrie went off and ultimately helped them win that championship, you have to think about, in terms of those teams, how empty that Cavs team was compared to how stacked the Miami Heat were. Not to take away from D Wade, not to take away from LeBron James, but that was a drastically better team than when Kyrie and LeBron won in Cleveland together. And Kyrie is a big part of the reason that LeBron even has that ring. So if we're talking teammate, I will 100% it's D Wade. But if I'm talking the best guard he's ever played with, of all the things that I have to say that I think Kyrie does better than D Wade, and some may be a lot, some may be by a little, and also thinking back to that game, that series, I have to give it to Kyrie Irving.
So let's take all the
strictly position-wise. Position-wise and teammate-wise, two different things. Position-wise, it's Kyrie Irving.
So let's take the dramatics out of all of this, right? You're Mike Dolan. That's his name, the owner of the Knicks?
James Dolan?
James Dolan. Thank you for helping me. James Dolan, the guy that needs to sell the Knicks. Okay. You got D Wade or Kyrie Irving to choose from, to build your franchise around. Who are you taking, Ashley Nicole Moss?
You talking about D Wade in his prime?
Yeah, both in the prime.
Well, when you talk about building a franchise around a player, it's not just what they do on the court, it's what they do off the court.
Well, that's why I said take the dramatics off.
Oh, take the dramatics out?
That's why I said take the dramatics out.
Kyrie Irving.
Wow.
But if Kyrie Irving was D Wade in terms of work ethic, in terms of availability,
well, his work
in terms
ethic's
of
always been there.
I'm just adding the things in terms of dependability. If he had all of that D Wade has, but he had Kyrie's skill set, I'm taking Kyrie. But Kyrie is who Kyrie is, and D Wade is who D Wade is. But can you imagine D Wade's, who D Wade is as a teammate?
Professionalism.
His professionalism with Kyrie's skill set. That's like the perfect player.
Demeanor.
Kyrie has the best ball handling skills that we have ever seen.
Yeah.
He has his bag is so deep. His basketball IQ is so deep. If you watch him play, he takes implements of different eras of basketball, from street ball to the 80s to the 90s, like modern basketball, and it all exists in his bag, and he can pull it out at any given time. Best one-on-one player I have ever seen play the game. If you take all of that and you put it in the professionalism of D Wade, that's like the second coming of Jesus Shuttlesworth.
I just want everybody to do this. We can continue this, but we can regroup on this tomorrow.
Yeah,
I want to give everybody some homework.
And real quick, you cannot bring up D Wade in 06. We're talking about because we're talking about LeBron and D Wade, and we're talking about LeBron and Kyrie. LeBron didn't play with 06 D Wade. So bringing that up is irrelevant. What he did with Shaq does not have any bearing on his relationship.
He believes Kyrie Irving was the best
that
guard
LeBron James has ever played with. He didn't play with him in 06. You can't bring up what Wade did in 06 with Shaq to make your argument with LeBron. They didn't play together then. We're talking about LeBron and D Wade in their era. Kyrie and LeBron in their era. Bringing up 06 is not fair. LeBron wasn't there.
D Wade, that's what makes D Wade so special.
But you
know what D Wade said? Because you know why it didn't work the first? I went back and read this 2012 article from Bleacher Report last night to prepare for this segment. And what they said in this article, and I don't know how much of it is true. It was just an article. There's nothing else out there to, check it. But they're like, the first year you had these two alphas come together. D Wade ran the show in Miami. LeBron did his thing in Cleveland, and he was LeBron. And they come together in the first year. Who's going to take the last shot, right? Who's the man? Who's this? Who's that? The second year, D Wade was banged up at times, but D Wade was the one to say, you know what? I'm going to take a back seat.
Because he's a great teammate, though. And the team was stacked.
So even when you're talking about, but remember all the big plays and the big moments.
Right, but you're also ignoring the fact that he was able to do that. Why? You had Bosh, you had Chalmers, you had Ray Allen at that point. He could take a backseat and LeBron become the leader because it wasn't reliant on solely him to win that. If we talk about the Cleveland experience, if Kyrie doesn't show up, LeBron does not win. If Kyrie doesn't show up in that series, LeBron does not win. So I'm not negating 06.
Same thing for D Wade, right? If D Wade's not on that team, LeBron doesn't win.
Yes, but it's different because if you take away, if you cut D Wade's role in half, and Corey can speak to this because he knows how stacked that team was. If you take away and you cut D Wade's role in half for that Miami team, I believe they still win. Even if you cut it in half.
You tripping.
Yeah.
What about depth? Oh, now you don't care about depth.
I said if you.
Now she don't care about depth.
I'm not.
Clip that.
I said that they could do it because they had a deep team. That's literally the first thing that came out of my mouth. That he could take a back seat because you had Bosh, you had Ray Allen.
I hear what you're saying.
You had, and then let's not talk about the supporting cast that Miami Heat had.
Mike Miller.
That was an incredible team. Like that was a deep team. That was one of the best championship teams ever. Like that was I would say it was one of the best championship teams ever.
Good team.
I was in the building when Ray Allen hit that Game 6 winner from the corner. Like that was one of the best championship teams I've ever seen.
It was good.
Like in general, but he could take a back seat because the team was structured that way. Kyrie couldn't do that in Cleveland, and I'm not saying that 06 Wade wasn't phenomenal.
J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, Kevin Love.
Are you being for real?
I am being for real.
I'm looking up. I think they were just top heavy because like LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and D Wade got all the points. The rest of the team averaged under 10 points.
Oh, well, I mean, they play their role. They
played their role though, but they were supposed to.
Yeah,
average
but I'm
that.
saying in Cleveland they at least had 5 players averaging double digits.
Okay, first of all, J.R. Smith. Love J.R. Smith.
He balled.
But J.R. Smith is a streak shooter, which means when he's hot, he's hot. When he's not, you don't feel him. Mm-hmm. How many points did Iman Shumpert average?
He was defensive.
That's my point.
5.8.
I'm talking strictly offensively. Kyrie cannot take a back seat in that series and they win it. Yeah. I'm not talking about defensively.
I agree. No, I'm not debating that with you. You're right. Kyrie was Kyrie.
He was that boy. What was it? Game 5? Game 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was insane.
I agree. It was
game 6, yeah.
Kyrie caught fire in that game. It was unbelievable. It was insane.
The game where LeBron and Kyrie both scored 40.
Kyrie is an individual.
I'm saying
is the best shooting guard he ever played with, because we could also say that the best shooting guard is the person who helped him win the most.
I'm not talking about. For me, best player he's ever played with and best guard position-wise he's ever played with are two different things.
Okay.
If we talk player, my answer is D Wade. If we're talking guard, it's Kyrie Irving. And I just look at and I'm a firm believer if Kyrie didn't leave, they could have won another one together.
For sure. For sure.
We'll never know if they could have had the same success as D Wade and LeBron did because he left.
They would have had more success.
I believe they could have won another one, maybe 2 more together if he doesn't leave.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I can't use that as my gauge of who won more with who because situations are situations.
You can't. To prop up this man here, oh my goodness, he's so great. You can't just look down on Flash. Ashley.
I'm not looking. D Wade's one of my favorite players of all time. I'm not looking down on him, but if I compare,
why is he even on our board?
If I compare the skill set of a D Wade and a Kyrie on certain things, okay, better ball handling. You give it to D Wade or Kyrie?
Kyrie all day.
Better bag, Kyrie or D Wade?
Kyrie.
Okay, better basketball IQ, Kyrie, and it doesn't have to be by much. Kyrie or D Wade?
D Wade. Oh, don't tell me all this. Oh yeah. No, he knows this
and all that. Oh, you would put
Wade.
No, I'm going with D Wade over
D Wade.
And IQ too.
Better shooter.
No.
Kyrie.
Dwayne Wade.
I just gave you.
Yeah, he is.
Better winner. Better defender.
Better winner. Better
defender. Yeah, it is.
He taught him how to win.
First of
That's
all,
what I was saying.
Kyrie is a phenomenal defender. He's one of the best one-on-one players in the league, if not the best. What do you mean?
Kyrie is a liability on defense. Yes,
on defense.
You're talking about one-on-one.
We're talking one-on-one. Kyrie Irving one-on-one against another. Are you serious?
We're talking about 5-on-5 basketball.
But 5-on-5, you have to guard one-on-one.
Correct. And you're saying that Kyrie Irving is considered lockdown?
I'm not saying he's considered lockdown, but he's not. Are you calling him a weak defender?
No, I'm not saying that he's a weak defender, but D Wade is the better defender.
Okay, but here.
Kyrie,
okay, I'll give you better defender. I'll give you better defender. I'm not going to give you better winner because I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean?
Try to even go out. What does it mean?
What is a better winner? What does that mean?
D Wade wins more. He's more clutch than a Kyrie.
D Wade also 3-time defensive, all defensive.
D Wade is a better defender. I will 100% give you. I can't better winner. I don't even know what that means.
What other attributes can we throw out there to debate?
No, I'm curious. What does a better winner mean?
Better relationship, I would definitely say.
We're talking strictly. We're talking.
No, I get what she's saying, but doesn't that go onto the court though? You don't think that goes onto the court?
No, but because I started this argument off by saying if we were talking better player, better teammate, the answer is D Wade. If we're talking strictly better guard, and we have to list all of the attributes of a guard, and I had asked you which one was better at it, Kyrie comes out on top in more categories than D Wade does. For me, as a guard, Kyrie is a better guard than D Wade. He's not a better all-around player as D Wade, but strictly guard, better ball handler, better shooter. Basketball IQ, you can argue that. Defender, D Wade gets that. Better winner is not even a category. I don't even know why I'm putting that in there.
D Wade's a better passer though.
Yeah. I mean, he like we said.
Kyrie's a pretty good facilitator.
That might be
Kyrie's a really good facilitator,
that might be
bro.
easy.
I don't know if I can give you that.
D Wade got a better field goal percentage.
I'd say Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's probably a better facilitator though.
Kyrie's a pretty good facilitator, but he doesn't usually do it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. He doesn't really do it. He shoots too much to be a true facilitator.
No, honestly, this was tougher than I thought. Really, really
this is actually a really good debate. Honestly,
yeah, this is tougher than I thought.
Hey, that boy Wu said
Truth Bearer in the comments says Kyrie was not that good on the Cavs. That I have revisionist history. I don't know what Cavs team he was referring to, but Kyrie on the Cavs was like, a maniac.
That might have been
agreed.
Kyrie right there.
What I was getting at with relationships was like I always think about that photo, right, where D Wade is like that and LeBron's dunking in the back. You ain't got nothing like that with Kyrie. They arguing and clashing the whole time.
The better teammate, but if I'm talking clutch, I might say Kyrie's more clutch than D Wade.
We creating bounce passes in practice.
In there.
That is not what makes a better guard. That's what makes a better player, a better teammate. But the argument,
got a point,
the question is that who was the best guard that LeBron James has ever played with, and strictly on the attributes of a guard.
Iman Shumpert, all right, it's over.
For me, it's Kyrie Irving.
All right, well, look, I wanted to give us some time to talk about this, though.
I can't believe he said that Kyrie was not that good on the Cavs.
Who, the guy
in the chat? Like, that was peak Kyrie.
That was peak Kyrie.
That was crazy.
We knew Kyrie was going to be one of the GOATs, so interesting. But yeah.
Damn, he shouldn't have left. He'd have 3 rings if he didn't leave.
Right. You might be right. All right, well, listen, guys. Over the weekend at the launch of the Miniature Giant Studio at the Uninterrupted Film Festival, what's his name? Joel Embiid sat down with Maverick Carter for an interview, and Embiid had kind of like an interesting take on his future in Philly. Let's actually watch that real quick.
Good brain, but what can we look forward from Joel Embiid?
I just want to win a championship. Whatever it takes. I don't know where that's going to be, whether it's in Philly or, anywhere else. I just want to have a chance to accomplish that. I want to see what it feels like to win that first one and then think about, the next one. It's not easy, but, it takes more than, 1, 2, 3 guys. You gotta have, good people around you, and like myself, every single day I work hard to, be at that level, so I can produce and make it happen. So every single day that's, working towards that.
I feel like with each passing day, I'm beginning to think more and more that Joel Embiid is going to ask out eventually. How do y'all feel about that?
I'm surprised he hasn't already.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, when you sit back and you see a guy like Joker be celebrated the way he's been celebrated after you campaigned for this MVP trophy, and you see guys across the league be celebrated for winning championships, you want to be there, right? And I do believe that he wants to win a championship. And it sucks that he's going to ask his way out of there, right? I feel like Philly is a nice organization. Is it Elton Brand who's running that show right there?
You think it's a nice organization?
I love what Elton Brand has tried to do. I feel like they're in a position to attract another superstar. Unfortunately, with Ben Simmons and James Harden, the ball didn't bounce their way. And now Joel Embiid is going to be out of there.
Ashley, your thoughts on this one?
I don't think he gets out this year. I think the team underperforms this year. It's a high possibility that he requests a trade. I don't know what's going to happen with James Harden. 1 minute he's staying, 1 minute he's going. But I don't think that James Harden is the teammate that Joel Embiid envisioned he would be. And I think that reality has set in. Or if it hasn't set in, it's almost completely set in. I don't think that there's anything you can do to change it because James is who James is and Embiid is who Embiid is. And I think that Embiid has seen a revolving door of players that didn't really have the same determination as him to win. And then he has seen players who have the determination to win like he has be moved elsewhere, i.e. Jimmy Butler. And Joel Embiid has spoken about how that's one of the biggest regrets of that team, you know, for him, is that they didn't allow that Jimmy Butler wasn't made a priority and that ultimately he walked and went to, it was Miami after that, right?
Yep.
Right. He spoke about how much of a winner Jimmy was and his mentality and how much he made people better. And we see that now that he's in Miami, we see that version of Jimmy Butler. I just think that the process and trusting the process has run its course. And if it hasn't run its course completely, it's like 95% run its course for Joel Embiid. I would not be surprised if he requests a trade next season.
Yeah. And I was going to ask too, do you think it happens actually like in the middle of the season? Or
No.
do you think he finished the season and then afterwards maybe he requests?
I don't know, because Philly's one of those teams. I think Philly is going to be a playoff team, so I don't think it's going to be
Like during
I don't think it's the environment's going to be toxic enough or losing enough for him to get frustrated in the middle of the season. This is a team that I still think is going to be a top seed in the East. I still think that this is a team that's going to go to the playoffs, maybe second round. They're not going to win. And I think that not winning is where that straw on the camel's back is going to break. Yep. And he's going to request a trade. But I would be highly surprised to see it in the middle of the season, knowing that this is still going to be a playoff team, even with all of the shortcomings that they have.
Interesting situation there. We'll see what happens with Joel Embiid. But guys, I want to get your reactions on this. So Steph Curry, he was a participant at the American Century Championship golf tournament. It's like a celebrity golf tournament. And I don't even want to give away what he did. Let's look at the video.
Give away, I think everybody's seen.
Yeah, you probably already saw it.
Boy, this is right at it if it gets there. How about that?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Well, hey, Raj, all I'll say is this. I think he pulled the right club. Oh, my goodness gracious. He may not stop till he gets to the Bay Area.
Y'all think Steph Curry might have a
Professional
career after
There's
basketball?
another video we didn't show it, but of him doing a putt, like a short putt, and he runs over, hugs Aisha, and then hugs his son Cannon. But it was just
that was to win it.
That was to win it. The whole thing. I guess like
he's a sneaky sniper.
They bathed him in what? He was bathed in the same bathwater as Achilles. Like it's just like he is a freaking.
He's in the bathwater of Achilles.
He has to be. Like, how are you that good at like everything?
It's his ability to lock in on something. Like he has like a homing.
If you give him like a circle to get into,
it's insane,
bro. What? Like for real.
I mean, he's been on a legendary run this summer, and someone asked him a question. They're like, "Why are you playing such good golf?" And he was like, "Because we lost to the Lakers, right?" and a lot of times, right, like those links is your sanctuary for a lot of these guys. He happens to be one of those athletes that have the game, right? A lot of us have the itch. What is it called? You get the bug or whatever they call it, whereas now you want to play all the time. DJ Khaled has it now. But not everybody's good. This dude can actually play. And I do believe Steph Curry's one of those guys that can actually cross over and play pro golf. Now it's going to take more. He needs more reps. It's going to take more work. But I truly believe he can, because like whatever one of you guys were saying, I think it was Corey, it's like he's honed in, he zoned in on something. And that's what he has. Like it's a mindset. And he talks about, like that's what a golfer does. A golfer, like, it's all muscle memory. You come out and you just try to keep hitting the same shot with the same wood. Okay, I got my 7, I got my 8, I got my 9, I got my putter, I got my driver, right? So like you try to perfect that shot with that club. And it's the same, he plays the same way in basketball. I remember Steve Kerr saying something to him in the playoffs. came up to him and said, hey, man, just like golf, keep shooting. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So he's special, man. This dude is legendary. That's tough. Legendary run. And this is only one shot. I mean, there's probably 3 or 4 shots.
What kind of golfer are you?
Me? I could be really good. I could be a really good golfer.
Are you like, would you say you're Travis Kelce good? Would you say you're Steph Curry good?
No, I'm not good.
Patrick Mahomes good?
I can't even put myself in that conversation because I don't play enough. Like, those guys actually play. Like, I never play. Like, I'm lucky if I get out a couple times a year.
Okay.
Right?
But when you go out, do you actually
I'll go in the backyard and I'll just hit golf balls, or I'll take a bunch of balls and I'll hit a bunch of balls into the lake in the backyard, stuff like that. Like, but I'm not out there working on my game. I just don't have the time. You're talking about one round is 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours.
Sheesh.
Well, we have the DJ Khaled golf tournament coming up on Thursday. You should slide in there.
Slide in there.
Bring your clubs. We'll bring the on-the-go crew, and we'll see what you got. There's a bunch of athletes playing in that.
No, I'm good. I rather.
Odell will be there.
Right.
We'll see what wide receiver is a better golfer.
I would like to see Odell play. Odell, he's one of those guys. I don't think he's a great golfer, but I think he has a great swing. Like, Odell's one of those dudes that can do everything right.
Fair enough.
You got some basketball guys in there. We'll see, how they do.
It's a lot. It's a nice list.
It's a very nice list. I feel like we should get you in there and see what you can do.
Yeah, see if we can get you on that list. But all right, that's it, folks. That's a wrap for today, B.
That's a wrap.
Nicole.
Did Steph Curry make the Brandon Sneaky Sniper list for next top golfer? You want to put him on that list or no?
I'm not putting anything on that list.
Yo, today was an amazing episode because it's Monday. Another opportunity to be phenomenal. I Am Athlete presents Paper Route. You can listen to us on Sirius XM, Faction Talk, Channel 103. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I don't know what's happening in the world of sports tonight, but we will watch and then discuss tomorrow. Peace.
Sure.